Hey, Seamilk.
Yeah.
See those stone lions?
Yeah, I bet they don't export those.
Yeah, you see that this is like a stone lion and fountain and stone stuff factory.
Nice.
And
they
they
definitely have the lion's share of the market here.
Oh, nice. I like it. So, anyway, the thing is, they like to put these stone lions outside banks and stuff.
Yeah.
It's all about the fact that they like to put those up as guards, you know, sort of like to
Keep
guard
those
the entrance.
robbers out.
And they have those little balls for good luck.
If you get them out, it's good luck, right?
Yeah, correct.
Never managed to get one out.
Anyway, they don't export those.
No.
What we're talking about is the fact that in China, now this is a lot of countries, okay, a lot of countries. South Africa is the same. Like for instance, in South Africa, the best fruit, like bananas and whatever, the best ones get sent off to like America or Australia or wherever else. But here in China, it's quite interesting because the product that's supposed to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
Like recently, we're going to be talking about Huawei, right? Product that you can buy here, that you can buy in the States. It's usually good quality in the States, but it's a bit of a gamble here. You don't know what you're going to get.
It's a lottery.
It's a bit of a lottery. So let's hit the road and talk about it. Just watch out for traffic. Yeah, we're good. So, Seamilk, can you tell us about this whole Huawei thing, and then we can get on to everything else?
It's being called the lottery of quality. So, in China, as we know, they produce a good, portion of the world's electronics and goods and all that kind of good stuff. But Huawei is a different story. It's kind of a success story because I would say most people would agree abroad that when you say something is made in China, that is a derogatory term.
Yes.
Meaning that it's poor quality, and there's a reason for that. It's cheap. Now, Huawei was one of the first cell phone companies to actually break into the mainstream American market. And what I mean is, there have been Chinese phones forever being sold as kind of like, the lowest end models of a certain plan. So they'll OEM them. And OEM means that the company, let's say it's some shitty little Chinese company, they'll send their phones to America, and then like Verizon or one of these other, T-Mobile, will say it's their own brand.
Yeah.
But actually, if you look at the model numbers, you can find out very quickly that it's a Chinese phone. Huawei is different because they were the first ones to get involved with Google. And to be the new Google Nexus model, I mean, that's the wet dream of every cell phone company, right?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
Everyone was kind of really into the Nexus models because they would always showcase the newest Android features. And, they've had Motorola's. What else have they had?
Oh, they've had LG.
LG, yeah. Anyway, for Google to, where Google's blocked, by the way, in China.
Yeah.
For Google to, go to the enemy and say, yo, Huawei, we like your stuff. We want you to make the Nexus 6. It was a huge thing for people, and a lot of people were like, I can't believe they're doing this shit. But guess what? At the end of the day, people were like, this is actually a pretty good phone.
Yeah, it is. I've seen one firsthand. By the way, slow down a bit for air.
Okay.
Yeah, I've seen it. By the way, I have a quiz for you.
Okay.
What does OEM stand for?
Original Enterprise Market.
No,
Just made
original
that up.
equipment manufacturer.
There you go. You better not f***ing leave that in there. Make me look like an idiot.
I'm leaving it. Let's go.
Why?
That's part of the dynamic. Anyway, so correct, the Nexus 6 is really good. So what's the issue then?
The issue is that they found that a bunch of the models of the Nexus 6 and a bunch of the other Huawei products, because after the Nexus 6's success, they started importing other Huawei products into America, right?
Correct.
They were finding out that they were using bum parts, so inferior RAM, different sensors, different CPU-like configurations and stuff that were actually kind of supposed to be for garbage phones in the domestic market.
Yeah.
And so people were getting pissed off, and that pretty much ruined and put the final nail in the coffin for Chinese products yet again, because just like every other damn brand here in China, they will cut corners.
Yeah.
They will always cut corners, and Chinese people have come to accept this.
Yeah.
But when you make a premium flagship product that costs more than other products, you can't do that to Westerners. They will literally never buy your product again.
Yes.
And you've ruined it. And that's the problem, is the way that companies in China are structured always leaves wiggle room for people to cut corners and make money for themselves. And that is why, at least to me, before you continue, I think that Chinese products will never take off in the West.
You're absolutely right. I mean, I've been through the whole process, having dealt with suppliers and things in the past.
Yeah.
And
we have with our own bike company.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So okay, they're busy producing, you know, a batch of phones and they run out of, just say, infrared sensors, then they'll just quickly go and source a bunch of cheap or knockoff parts to kind of fill the order and fill it up, so they don't really care. The thing is, I do find, okay, and I've got this, I get so much crap for this, but you know, I made a video about the DJI Mavic. Yeah. Especially my latest one. I made the fact that it's an incomplete product. Right. And that's because everybody that I know who's owned one in China has had to send it back because of some or other problem. Right. It's always got a problem. It's got a bad gimbal on it, okay, the image is weird, or it doesn't respond, or the controller's broken. And I made a video about it, and the amount of American people saying, oh, you're just an idiot, you don't know how to use it, you know, or oh, this is, you know, the battery wasn't full, or, you know, these guys must think I'm a moron. I've been flying drones for how long now? Like over a year? Right. Longer? I know how a drone operates. I know how to calibrate the drone. I know how to fly a drone. I know exactly how it works, okay? And I know when something's faulty. Right. Okay, and because I've had so much experience flying these things, I'm pointing out the big issues here. Right. And, you know, like for instance, the guy up in Shanghai, that friend of ours, Primo. Yeah. What was wrong with his one was the motherboard in the controller was faulty. Right. And so it was basically stuck on and always sending a return to home signal. Not a faulty button or anything, the motherboard. So the actual circuit board inside. That kind of thing doesn't happen in America because they've got pretty strict quality control, right? But the fact that he went and purchased in a proper, authentic, original DJI shop. Right. He went and he bought this brand new drone, okay? Brand new, and it gave him these kind of problems. Just goes to show you, basically, that they don't care about the local people here. I had terrible customer support from DJI. I went to go buy...
we did like shows for them and stuff. Oh
man, like, okay, if you look at a DJI store in America, and when I was in America, I went to go buy some extra blades for my Phantom 4. I think I bought them at a Best Buy or whatever, but the thing is, you've got courteous staff. They back their products. They've got like guarantees. They know exactly what's going on. You know, they treat you like a real person. Over here, I went to go buy that really expensive tripod. You know, that tripod kind of thing. It costs like $100 US, right? More than $100. And I was like, can I have a receipt? Because they kind of, this was in one of their shops, right? And I'm like, can I have a receipt? And they're like, you don't need a receipt. This is small chump change, you know, like. And I'm like, what if something's wrong with it? It's like, well, it's only a cheap thing. You don't need to worry. I was like, kind of taken aback.
At the flagship store?
Well, not the flagship store, but a real store, like a proper DJI store. The one out in SeaWorld in Sherpa. Right. The staff were just so disinterested in helping me. I had to ask them if they had it, and they're like, okay, let's take a look at the back. And they brought it out, and they're like, this. I'm like, yes. And they're like, well, pay us on WeChat, you know? Right. And it kind of makes me think that maybe they pocketed the money.
Probably makes sense. Anyway,
whatever. Bad service. And also the fact that everybody has to keep returning these things. Who the hell keeps frickin' air horning? Basically just shows you that they don't care. Right? They don't care if you have a bad experience. They don't care if you get a bad product because, well, you're going to come back anyway because they're the only people that sell, you know, good drones.
I got cut off by this piece of shit. What are you doing? Why are you stopping here? Gave him the middle finger.
Yeah. Anyway, what I'm trying to get at here is the fact I can read from the comments in that video that all the American people who've bought the drone are really happy with it. And
right, because it did well, right?
Yeah, they're like, oh, it's such an amazing product. I love it. It's great. But everybody who's bought one in China, and I mean everybody, I'm not joking, every single person I know has bought one. Everyone has had some kind of stupid problem with it, something that could have been avoided if they'd just done proper quality control. And I also know a guy, and now this is going to sound stupid, but a guy who knows a guy who works there who actually said that they don't care as much about their consumer products and don't put as much quality control into them as their professional products, which makes sense. Of course. Anyway, that's just another example of how things that are produced locally here are not really well looked after. Right. I got tons of stories. You know, I've been buying Chinese phones and I've been buying Chinese stuff. We're gonna have to U-turn, by the way.
I've never owned a good Chinese product.
No, me neither.
And I just bought a Mavic, by the way, so we're gonna find out. Proof's in the pudding, man.
Yeah, I'm gonna say with that Mavic, I'm just going to let you figure it out and see if it goes well, you know. I want to hear from you, as without my experience of dealing with these things, I want to see if you, as a new customer, have any issues.
Right. We'll report back.
Yeah. Anyway, you're absolutely right. Can you name one Chinese product that we've gotten here locally? I'm not saying overseas, because they do exist.
No. Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Over here, one good Chinese product.
Shit, dude, I can't really think of anything, because I'm thinking of, like, we bought the best Chinese bikes ever. Remember when we were working on those?
Oh yeah, those are expensive.
They were wicked expensive for a Chinese bike.
Yeah, and they were just
$3,000 or $4,000 a piece, which sounds ridiculous, but it's a Chinese bike, right?
Yeah,
like everything else is like $1,000.
Yeah.
Anyway, they really just, wow, they're awful.
Yeah,
they're
overheat.
awful.
Remember from the factory, my
they
one would
overheated
just
the first day.
overheat, and you know, it would just have all these issues, and the sensors
clanking
failed,
and like,
it was just terrible.
I can't think of anything, dude.
Well, you know, I've got a Chinese car.
Yeah,
and
that's
it's still
really...
going. It's still going strong, but that's only because I'm like a mechanic.
Right.
And stupid things that shouldn't have broken, like the air conditioner's broken again.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like, you know, that's the fifth or sixth time.
So that's not passing the Western standard of quality test.
I bought that car brand new, like brand new.
Right.
You know, all the other like stupid things, like the gear cable's breaking and everything. You can hear about that car in this other video we'll link to you. But yeah, don't want to be bitching too much, but we bought these bikes that we were riding. Everybody asks us, what are they?
Because they look cool, because we did a good job.
Thing is, yeah, these are custom builds.
Yes.
But the bases that we bought were Suzuki GN125s.
Right, so they're Japanese.
Yeah, but it's a joint venture. It's Aldra Suzuki, right? And when we bought them, I remember riding back, and like the bolt holding the suspension on the back, you know, it's got these dual coilover shocks. It was it on your one? Or was it, on your one. The bolt kind of like vibrated loose and fell off.
Right,
so,
my shock could have just collapsed.
Yeah, so the fact is, and I'll try and point it out on his bike here. See this bolt over here? This just vibrated loose and fell off. So yeah, you could have had a pretty bad accident.
Right.
All sorts of things like that. So yeah, the quality control just isn't up to scratch in China. And you know why? Because Chinese people don't expect quality. Chinese people expect something new that they can use until it breaks, and then they'll buy a new one.
Right.
Okay, they're not like us. They don't have that mindset of, oh, I'm going to buy a car and it's going to last me 10 years.
Right.
They're like, I'm going to buy a car and it's going to last me like 2 years maximum, and I'm going to get another one.
Yeah, if it's a shitty one.
Yeah. Or, you know, I'm going to buy a motorbike and I'm going to ride it until it breaks, and then everything's so cheap to fix, so they'll just replace parts or whatever. You know, they don't buy it with this idea that it's a quality item. So, of course, that doesn't translate into the West, and it's still the biggest issue.
You know what a really good example
is
when we found the companies that were mass producing our design for the bikes, they probably thought we were retarded, to be honest, because like we were using the real Japanese base.
Yeah.
Every single one, there's probably like 5 of them now. I can show you some stuff on Taobao. These guys, as soon as our bikes became a little bit popular, they opened up these massive factories in Zhejiang and started mass producing our Moriartys, our Churchills, right?
I mean, it's ridiculous. You can see the design's the same. They use the same colors, everything.
Straight up. You can see them around nowadays. Anyway, long story short, they probably think we're stupid because they use the cheapest of the cheap factory rip-off Hondas and Suzukis.
Yeah.
And to them, of course you do that, because no one's going to know. It's custom, right? It looks custom. So it's like, who cares? You buy the cheapest shit.
Yeah. Yeah, that's absolutely right. But if you look at our bikes, they're still going how many kilometers later?
Yeah, over 10,000 now.
And the harsh environments we've been through, and you know...
Never broken anything on it.
Yeah, so basically what it boils down to is the mindset of the consumer here in China versus the mindset of the consumer overseas.
Right.
It's probably this one on the right, eh?
Yep, that
Cool. Yeah, so if you're going to buy a Chinese product, buy one in America. Yeah. In fact, my Phantom 4 comes from America, you know. My friend Dan bought it there.
Haven't had any issues with that?
Nope, it's going strong. It's beautiful. It's awesome. But all the sort of local Mavics that my friends have bought here have all had trouble. So hey, that's how it is.
Right.
So anything you'd like to add to this conversation, Seamilk?
Whether you're of sturdy Western build or a cheap Chinese quality, that's terrible.
Yeah, come on, don't be racist.
I'm talking about if you're a product, dude. Don't assume what I'm talking about.
Okay, all right.
Anyway, yeah, no matter where you are, no matter what products you use, whether you like cheap stuff that you like to fix all the time or you want something that lasts you forever, I implore you to like, comment, and subscribe.
Absolutely. And if you own a Chinese product, they are good. Like, you do get good Chinese products. So before the nationalists start, ramping up the rhetoric,
right?
Good Chinese products do exist, and in fact, like the iPhone that you're using right now,
came a Chinese
from
product.
China, right?
Right.
Chinese people are very capable of building good quality stuff, but man, like, they're going to need good incentive to build something good, because if they can build something
or
cheap,
better management.
Yeah, that's incentive, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, if they can build something cheap, they will. So if you're going to buy a Chinese product, buying it in China is probably a bad idea. Buying it in America, where you've got a storefront or something that's actually responsible for that product, you're way better off. So buy it overseas.
Correct.
Cool. Well, until next time, we love you all the same, and stay awesome.
Close my eyes, I can almost see it. When I take a breath, you fill up my lungs. And if my mind